India is a peculiar country, where stories of mystical creatures such as witches, demons and gods and many others are commonplace. These characters can often be found in the stories a grandmother tells her grandchildren. Nevertheless, their legends have been passed down from generation to generation and can still be found in testimonies today, leading us to wonder just how much of a legend they really are. Let's start our journey in the 1990s, when the rural areas of Bangalore, India, were haunted by the fear of a ghost walking from door to door. The sound of a knock on the door can be one of the most frightening things when you are not expecting anyone. In tradition and legend, opening the door to a stranger is the biggest mistake you can make. Because once the door is open, you have no control, and it's true when you think about it. You leave yourself at the mercy of that unknown visitor. So be vigilant and invest in some peephole. But what if the voice on the other side sounds familiar, like a friend or family member? Before Bangalore's galloping urbanization, there were beautiful rural areas where a certain urban legend inspired fear in the locals. The story of Nalba is a folk legend told mainly in Karnataka, in southwest India, which became popular in the 1990s, making it perhaps more urban legend than folklore, as it focuses on the more developed villages. In the crazy days of the 1990s, Bangalore had a population of around 5 million and was undergoing rapid urbanization, making it one of India's most populous cities. But that was back then, and many inhabitants lived in fear of Nalba. For many years, villagers wrote the words Nalba on walls and doors for protection, giving a name to both the legend and the creature that hunted them. It's a Kannada expression meaning "come tomorrow" in English. They wrote this phrase to protect their house from an evil spirit trying to penetrate it, and thus protect all its inhabitants. The nature of the entity that Nalba was supposed to represent was unclear. It was often called the spirit of the bride, as it tried to lure men to stay with her forever. She was also sometimes called a witch, trying to bewitch the weakest. Her intentions varied, but some said she wore tattered clothes, had messy hair and begged for alms, any way she could to weaken her victims' defenses. Some stories and variants of the Nalba legend tell of a nuptial ghost who sought husbands among the villagers and would stop at nothing to get them. Although the legend will probably never be as infamous as it was at its age in the 1990s, the urban legend is still heard in the region from time to time. The spirit of the bride usually takes hold of the only son or the man of the house, the family's sole breadwinner, bringing misfortune not only to the poor man she abducts, but also to the whole family, which finds itself ruined. She goes door to door at night, knocking on every door and trying to open it. When she speaks through the door, she takes on the voice of your relative or loved one, calling you by name to open the door. But if you open it, the bride will do everything in her power to make you regret opening it for her. That's why villagers have come up with the idea of writing Nalba on the doors and walls of their homes to protect themselves. The idea is that the bride's ghost or the witch will read the words and return at another time. In this way, the cycle will continue all the time and you'll be protected. If you're going on holiday to India, make sure you write Nalba on your door and don't open it for anyone. If you answered "who's there?", I'm sorry to say that you'd better start planning your funeral, because you're about to fall victim to a malevolent figure from Indian folklore. She'll probably respond with a familiar voice, and that's when the trap will close on you. Will it be the Nalba? It may be. Let's try again. First of all, make sure you've written "come tomorrow" outside your house, next to the front door. If you have ordered a takeaway or are expecting a delivery from Amazon, the safest option is to pretend that the Nalba is right outside your door. In such cases, the solution I recommend is to contact your nearest neighbor and tell him or her to come over as soon as possible, because you've got a problem on your doorstep. If he comes and finds you safe and sound next to your pizza delivery man, then you're safe. Otherwise, you've made the right choice. The other option, once you have exhausted the entire neighbor's repertoire, is to freeze. Make no noise and simultaneously pray to every deity and cosmic force imaginable that you'll survive the next 24 hours. Under no circumstances should you answer Nalsba's call. If you think she's at your door, don't open it. If she's behind you and you want to see what she looks like, you'd better think about which child you'd like to throw to her as a sacrifice and run as far away as possible. It all began in the early hours of September 4th, 2002, when a gruesome murder was committed. It was a Wednesday, and a 75-year-old woman living at home was stabbed to death. The woman's name was Dolce Vaz, and she lived with her 80-year-old sister Vera, who witnessed the scene. Shortly after midnight, Vera fell asleep, but was suddenly wakened by her sister's blood-curdling screams for help. When she entered the room, she saw her in agony, with multiple stab wounds in her stomach, neck and hands, and Vera screamed.
Dolce, you're still warm. Wake up, please.
Unfortunately, it was too late, and Dolce died before reaching hospital. During the investigation, the police suspected it was a burglar who had broken into the house 6 months earlier, but the culprit was never found. They also said there was a motive linked to the land and the house in which the woman lived. It was the last house on the street, next to IJ's gas station. The chilling story was revealed in 2002, but its origins go back much further. The colonial-style house on St. Mark's Road in Bangalore was built in 1943, or perhaps 1934, by its owner, El Vaj, a former Bombay High Court lawyer. Vaj had 2 daughters, Dolce and Vera, and it was their lives that became entangled in the house's dark history. He left the house to his 2 unmarried daughters. Dolce was a pioneer teacher, and Vera an English teacher. Unfortunately, after the tragic murder of her sister, Vera abandoned the house in a prosperity dispute, or at least moved to a safer location, leaving behind not only the property but everything she owned and unclothed. The house remained in ruins for the next 12 years, acquiring a sinister reputation over the years. Locals and brave explorers who ventured near Terra Vera reported strange encounters. Over time, certain stories were added to the brutal murder, such as a macabre idea that Dolce had been buried on the site by the killer. There have also been strange occurrences, such as sightings of toppled crosses and strange and unexplained sounds, as well as terrified screams from inside the house, fueling rumors that evil spirits haunt the house. People have also claimed to hear piano music coming from the house, despite it being completely dark and abandoned. As stories of Terra Vera's appearance grew, the house became a magnet for thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. The house was finally demolished in 2014, but the mystery didn't end there. It is also said that dozens of Hindu priests went there and performed Homa, a fire ritual to ward off evil spirits. But did they succeed? Even after the physical structure had disappeared, strange apparitions and disturbing experiences continued to be reported on the land where the house once stood. It is not known who the old house was left to after the death of the 2 sisters, and when the workers who demolished the house were asked who owned it, they did not know and had only been ordered to demolish the house. The Terra Vera house, with its tragic history and ghost stories, remains etched in the annals of the paranormal in Bangalore. While skeptics may dismiss these stories as mere superstition, the undeniable presence of ghostly phenomena and the persistent fear associated with the house continue to capture the imagination of those who dare to delve into its dark past. In a city known for its rapid progress and technological advances, the Terra Vera house is a haunting reminder that the past, with all its mysteries and tragedies, is never far away. Whether or not we believe in the supernatural, the enigmatic aura of Terra Vera house bears witness to the enduring power of stories that transcend time and space, reminding us that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. I hope that you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any comments, please let me know in the comments. See you next Friday on this same channel. Bye bye!